Deadpool 2 is directed by David Leitch and stars Ryan Reynolds, Josh Brolin, Zazie Beetz, and many talented others playing members of the X-Force. In this one, Deadpool brings together his own team of mutants to protect a young mutant boy from the brutal, time-traveling cyborg Cable. Now, that's not what the synopsis that 20th Century Fox provides IMDb, but I can assure you that's what happens. Anyways, I know the real question is it better than Deadpool 1? Well, after putting a lot of thought into it and seeing this film 3 times in opening weekend, I would have to say yes. Now don't get me wrong, Deadpool is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and I love it with all my heart. I feel like I had a better time with Deadpool 2 in many other aspects than I had with Deadpool 1. First of all, the story of Deadpool 1 is kind of basic. It's just the good guy wants revenge on the bad guy, and I totally understand that, and obviously it's also very expositional and introductory because this is the first time a lot of people are just seeing who Deadpool is. But I do think Deadpool 2 just had a better story overall. It was more complex, and I felt like there was definitely more emotion in there, and a lot more character development for some characters. Definitely not all of them. There are some that kind of hide in the background in this film. Now, I do think that the color palette of this film is a lot better than the first one. It's more brighter, a lot more vibrant. Also, the acting is top-notch. I feel like everyone in this movie did a phenomenal job, and all of the characters are obviously played really well, and almost to a T by all of the performers, except one. There's one person that I kind of have an issue with, and after watching Deadpool 2 for the 3rd time today, I've come to the conclusion that I literally hate TJ Miller. Now, I'm sure might be a nice guy, maybe not, but his portrayal of Weasel in this movie, and when I look back at it, even in the first one, is just so terrible. I don't know if that's how it was written or if it's just the way that he executes it, but his monotone, sort of one-note delivery of all these jokes are just annoying. And it really wears down on you the more you watch this movie, and that's one of the biggest issues I had, was just TJ Miller in general. A lot of his jokes just didn't really land for me, and there were some other jokes that didn't land here and there, but for the most part, the jokes that landed were hilarious. There were definitely more jokes and references in this one than in the first. He breaks the fourth wall a lot in this film still, but it's in a more subtle way most of the time. I think when he did break the fourth wall, it was pretty much flawless. I really enjoyed every time he did that. Unlike in the first one, there were a couple times where it felt like a little too much or maybe a little annoying, but this one I think was really well done. All the jokes were very balanced. Like I said, there were a few here and there that didn't really land, and that kind of made it seem like a little joke heavy, but for the most part I think the jokes were fairly balanced. I think there were some times where the movie fell flat because of an emotional sequence, whether it be they didn't know how to handle it shortly after and the tone kind of switched too quickly back to comedy, or it was just handled in a weird way. Some of the shots seemed off in this film, and it could just be me, but there was one that seemed a little too, like, cinematic almost. It was kind of jarring when you see something as cinematic and as intense as this low-angle shot, and then it just ends up really not having a payoff. My biggest issue with this film is actually the editing, which might not be noticeable for some of you other viewers. Like, I know a lot of my family and friends who I went to go see it with didn't really pick up on it. There were just certain shots that sort of cut with the same background, and it was visually jarring. It felt really like just quick and lazy. Overall though, I really did enjoy this film. I had a blast. If you enjoyed the first Deadpool even just a little bit, I think you're gonna love Deadpool 2. I would make sure to go check it out as soon as you can, and I think I'm gonna give Deadpool 2 an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.